Hello, welcome to another video on my channel. I have been absent for a couple of weeks. I've been very busy working on a movie. I also finished a smooth jazz track. It's my third one. I just released on all platforms. I'm going to show you how this looks. Here it is. It's called Rarely Cruisin', and it's a smooth jazz track. I played the electric violin and easygoing tune, I think, and I have it on all platforms. I put a link in the description if you want to check it out, if you like that music. But that took a lot of time to get that ready, and also, promotion, release it, and all this kind of stuff. But also, I'm back with the video because Cubase surprised us with a new version, number 13. Maybe it's the Halloween edition. This upgrade has a lot of new things, and I'm a Cubase user. They did not send me anything free, so from the very beginning, I think was SX3, I started with Cubase, and I always upgraded, spent the $150, $100. It seemed to be reasonable. And I liked also the fact it wasn't a subscription. So I just could decide if I want to upgrade or not, which I still like better than a subscriber model. So let me pull in a Cubase 12 screenshot I did earlier when I opened 12. And that's a good news, by the way. If you own 12 and it's activated through the internet, so not the new model of licensing, not the old e-licenser dongle, you can actually run both versions. It's fine. So you can open 12, finish your old projects in 12. And if you want to experiment with 13 and try something, a new project, you can do it. So I still have 12 open on a couple projects, and I'm going to use it to finish those. But I imported a couple into 13. It's not a problem. But you can see the look has changed. Like this box, for instance, right? In the inspector, it had the red button for record. Now everything is like squarish here, right? In like a nice big area. Here they had a little more, I don't know, some curve. Yeah, looks different, right? Also, there's more information under routing, for instance. This has been they added a couple things. Also, they made this little different look down here. The faders are different, as people have talked about. They seem to be a little longer. I think there's a shade area up here, which is a little shaded, so a little longer. Also, the buttons here, are a little simplified. Also on the bottom, they look different. Here they have some texture. Here they don't. They're simply flat. Here a little more 3D on 12, which I liked, actually. It's too bad they took this away. I like this. Now you got the decibels, 0, -6, -12 in here. Here you don't see them. No, that's nice, right? So sometimes that helps quickly visually, so you don't have to read the numbers. You can see where it sits in which region. That's cool. Also, now there's a new area over here, which is the channel lane, and you can turn it on and off up here in this area. See, this is the new one, and that's like Pro Tools. So every time you hover over, you go to a track, it will add a huge fader button, right? If you don't have the mixer open, for instance, right? If you're working on a large score like this with over 100 MIDI tracks, then it comes in handy because you don't have to go. I have a second monitor on the other side, so I can see my mixer. I have 40 tracks open there, so I can see it. But this is nice if you're staying on this one window and you quickly click on your horns long and you want to see, okay, here they are. You want to move them down. And this is the same fader like this, right? In the old days, you maybe grabbed this guy and moved it, but you can now do it very quickly over here, right? So which is cool. And you also, your sends and inserts are all here as well. No, that's pretty nice. I like that. And if you don't like the channel, you can turn it off, or vice versa. Take out the inspector if you don't care about the routing. If that's taken care of, you never need to look at that again. You just leave the channel strip here and your main window, right? So that's kind of nice. That is sweet. Also on the mixer window, let me get the mixer window over. On the mixer window now, they added the names on top, which I think is super helpful. I have a large screen. See, now the window is smaller, but if you make this window larger and sometimes you work down here, it's good. You know what you're doing, right? But then if you are working with your inserts or at the strip, you might have to look down what's going on there. And so now they have your names on top, which I think is great. The strip has changed, but the good news is you can quickly click on gate, it will open up. You can work with it. And if you click out of it anywhere else, it disappears. The same applies to, by the way, your EQ, which I think is a winner. Now there's actually, you can finally add, you know, you got your regular EQ here. Oh, and that what happens. See, if the moment you go out of it, it disappears, right? So you can quickly make adjustments in your EQ. You know, you can add this guy. This is actually the roll off. See, finally, we have one. We have a low pass and a high pass. You can apply right there, which is super handy. And if you're done, the moment you move your mouse out, it disappears, right? Isn't that great? So it's a little larger, and you can do your work, and then you say, "Oh, fine, I'm done." And you see what's happening here too. It's right there, right? And you can reorder all of this. You can move the strip up and the EQ to the bottom. That's all customizable. But I think this is a really cool function with the pop-ups, and the same applies to your strip. If you click on anything like here, you can set your, values, and the moment you click on another channel, it disappears, right? No, that's cool. So that's great. So that's over there. For composers, really big improvement, I think, is the editor, the multi-window editor, whatever you want to call it. But in the old days, as you know, you clicked on a track and you can edit, whatever that instrument is, the horns. But now what happens if you want the horns and the flutes? So you had to actually go in, select the horns, go up to flutes, select the flutes. Now they're both selected. You double click, and now you see the horns and the flutes, right? Yeah. Took some time, and maybe you forgot something and you have to go back out. So now what you can do is actually, which is super cool, on the visibility tab, you just say, you know what, I want to see the oboes with it and the clarinets, and here they are. Or I want the tuba and the bass trombone. Here you go. So, and you see the lanes up here as well. So you can actually click on the lane, and immediately it will select it in here, right? If I click on the brass, my brass is in red, so it's right now selected. If I want the strings, I can go down and say, you know what, I want to take a look at the viola legato. Let's add that. Okay, so now you can see here's green, that's my viola, and here's the green track, right? And you can, the moment you can jump around up here, or even if you click it in your editor, you know. But it was harder in the old days, right? You had to really hit that the red color for your trumpet or trombones, whatever color you assigned. Now you can just do it up here, and if you want to go back, you just turn things off. And if you have it nicely organized in categories, you can actually then quickly just add the entire brass. See, boom, gone, in, out, right? So this is super helpful for composers who work on large projects with like hundreds of tracks, because now you can hear on the side, add only the ones you want to add, and you don't have to mess with this window again and select or hide or close your folders and all this stuff. So this, by the way, is a project I did for testing the BBC library, and it's Jerry Goldsmith's Star Trek. It's another video, you can hear it, and I'm testing it, and I used the template from Spitfire here, and it's nicely colored, so all the colors are already in the tracks, which is totally cool. The second big new thing is for them, especially if you have, let's add a couple more instruments. If you want to copy and paste something, in the old days also, you take the selection tool, right, this guy, and you selected this, and you had to, oh my God, I need to go all the way down. Is there a bass note? Or maybe there's more down here. So you had to make this zoom out here. You get the point. It was just, time consuming. Now they added a new function. If you select the range tool, the range selector, it pretty much selects everything in here. Everything. So you can just click Control C. I'm on Windows, by the way. If you click that and you go over here, boom, everything, including whatever is in the range, gets selected, right? Which I think is a time saver. And you just can select also if you want to select. You got the range in your music, right? But you know what? I want the modulation data. You click Shift, and it adds it on. And now you can copy it anywhere you want. So this is also a time saver for many of us working with symphonic music and lots of data. And so I think thank you, Steinberg. That's a really good improvement. Super handy tool.
It's cool, right?
And so yeah, so I always buy the upgrades. Again, I'm a Steinberg user since version SX3. So I shell out the money. They didn't send me anything for free, so I actually spend the money. And all DAWs are great. And it's not the discussion about if you like this more or the other. It's up to you, your workflow, what appeals to you, what you find maybe easier. Maybe if you like Logic, the way they do things, or DP, they're all amazing. They all get the job done, and they're great. And whatever runs on your system best, with memory management and all that. So I like Cubase. For me, great functions and great options, and what you can do with it. So I got 13. If you wait 1 year, I think it's going to be 115 next year. If you want to jump from 12 to 14, you can look at the videos and check all the changes. And if you like the add-ons, if you say, nah, I'm wait until next year, or I don't need it, that's fine too. But I personally, I like it. For me, it will make a difference in the workflow, and I'll get used to the look. And maybe in a couple months, I will not miss any buttons on this side. Maybe that look, just forget about it. It's the new version, and maybe they add some customization later if you want a different icon look. Who knows? It's not that important for me. It's more about the function, but I still like it, and I think it's awesome. And so here you have it. And thanks for watching, and until next time.